From a stone fortress so old that nobody can agree who built it, to an entire city that vanished beneath the sea in a single afternoon, Jamaica is holding on to secrets that do not fit neatly into any history book. Most people know the island for its beaches, its music, and its food. But deep in the bush, hidden inside limestone caves and drowned under the harbor, there are ruins that still leave archaeologists shaking their heads. These are 13 ancient ruins in Jamaica that nobody can fully explain. And the last one on this list has confused experts for more than 300 years. Before we dive in, if you love forgotten history and places the guidebooks skip over, take a second to subscribe. I cover mysteries like this one every single week. And trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming next. Alright, let's get into it. Number 13. Stewart Castle in Trelawney. Sitting on a hill near the northern coast, Stewart Castle looks less like a home and more like something built to survive a war. The walls are thick, the corners were designed with gun loops, and the whole structure was raised on a foundation that would not look out of place on a medieval battlefield. It was built in the 1700s, most likely tied to the sugar estates that made the region rich. But here is what nobody can quite settle. Why did a plantation house need to be this heavily fortified? Some say it was protection against pirates. Others point to fear of uprisings among the enslaved people forced to work the land. And a few believe the builder was hiding something far more valuable than sugar. Today, the ruin stands roofless and silent, its purpose still argued over. Locals still whisper about tunnels running beneath the foundations, though no one has ever found where they lead. Whatever it was truly built to defend, it took that answer with it. Number 12. Two Sisters Cave near Hellshire. Tucked into the limestone on the southern coast, this cave holds a deep freshwater pool and something far older carved into its walls. Long before Columbus ever reached these shores, the Taino people left their marks here. Faces, figures, and symbols scratched into the rock, staring back at anyone brave enough to climb down into the dark. The name comes from a local legend about two sisters who died here, and some visitors swear they can still feel a presence in the cool air near the water. But the real mystery is the carvings themselves. Nobody can say for certain what they mean. Were they a warning? A place of worship? A message meant for whoever came next? The Taino left no written language behind, so every theory is just an educated guess. The people who could explain these images vanished centuries ago, wiped out within decades of European contact. What they were trying to tell us may be lost forever. Number 11. The Green Grotto Caves near Runaway Bay. This sprawling network of tunnels and chambers has been used by almost everyone who ever set foot on the island. The Taino sheltered here first. Then came the Spanish, who are said to have hidden here during the British invasion. Later, runaway slaves used the darkness to escape their captors, and smugglers ran contraband through these passages during the wars of the 20th century. Deep inside sits a green underground lake, still and glassy, that gives the caves their name. But for all the people who pass through, the caves keep their secrets well. Explorers have found chambers that seem to lead nowhere, and passages that locals insist connect to the sea miles away, though no one has ever proven it. What was stored down here over the centuries? What was hidden and never recovered? Some of the oldest chambers show scorch marks and carvings that predate any written record of the island, hints of rituals nobody has ever managed to explain. The Green Grotto has swallowed more history than anyone has managed to dig back out. Number 10. The White Marl Taino site near Spanish Town. This is one of the largest known settlements of Jamaica's original inhabitants, a sprawling village site where thousands once lived. Archaeologists have pulled pottery, tools, and bones from the earth here, piecing together a picture of a people who thrived on the island for centuries. A museum was even built on the spot to protect what was found. But the mystery of White Marl is not what was discovered. It is what happened to everyone who lived here. Within a generation of the Spanish arrival, the Taino population collapsed almost entirely. Disease, forced labor, and violence erased an entire civilization in a span of years. Today, the mounds of shells and soil are all that remain of a community that once stretched across the hillside. Walk the ground, and you are standing on top of an entire vanished world. How many people are buried beneath that quiet field is a number nobody has ever been able to count. Number 9. Mountain River Cave in St. Catherine. Hidden in the hills and reached only by a long walk through the countryside, this cave holds one of the greatest collections of Taino art ever found in the Caribbean. Its ceiling and walls are covered in dark paintings, more than 100 of them, showing birds, frogs, turtles, and human figures in strange poses. Some of the images are believed to be over 1,000 years old. But what they actually mean is a puzzle no expert has solved. Why paint them so deep inside the earth, in a place so hard to reach? Some believe the cave was sacred, a spot for ceremonies meant to connect the living with the spirit world. Others think the figures record real events, a history book written in charcoal and dye. A few of the paintings do not match anything else found on the island, showing shapes that researchers still cannot identify. Whoever made them left no key to unlock their meaning. And because the cave is so isolated, it was only documented in modern times, meaning countless similar sites across the island may have already been lost to the jungle before anyone ever recorded them. We are left staring at a message we may never learn to read. Number 8. Rose Hall Great House near Montego Bay. From the outside, Rose Hall looks like a grand colonial mansion, restored and elegant. But its reputation is anything but peaceful. This is the home of the legend of Annie Palmer, the so-called White Witch of Rose Hall, said to have murdered 3 husbands and countless enslaved workers before meeting a violent end herself. For years, the house sat abandoned and crumbling, and locals refused to go near it after dark. The strange part is how much of the legend cannot be proven, and how much of it refuses to die. Records of Annie Palmer are thin and contradictory. Some historians argue she never existed at all, that the story was stitched together from older tales. Yet visitors still report cold spots, shadows moving through the halls, and voices in empty rooms. If the White Witch was invented, then who or what is still haunting the ruins of Rose Hall? Guides point to an unmarked grave on the property, sealed with a strange arrangement of stones, and no one can say for certain who lies beneath it. The house has been rebuilt, but the mystery underneath it never left. Number 7. Sevilla La Nueva near St. Anne's Bay. This was the very first Spanish capital of Jamaica, founded in 1509, just years after Columbus was stranded on the island. The Spanish built a town here, complete with a church, a fort, and grand stone buildings meant to last for centuries. And then, within a few decades, they simply abandoned it. The question that haunts this site is why. The official reason given was disease and poor conditions near the swampy coast. But the town was left so suddenly that finished carvings and cut stone were left behind, some of the most beautiful early colonial work ever found in the Americas. The settlers picked up and moved inland, leaving their brand new capital to be swallowed by the bush. For centuries, the ruins lay forgotten, rediscovered only when archaeologists went digging. What made an entire town flee a place they had just spent years building? Some of the carved stone found here shows detailed craftsmanship that seems far beyond what a struggling frontier settlement should have been capable of producing, raising questions about who really did the work. The stones that remain are not saying. Number 6. The old ruins of Spanish Town. Once the capital of the entire island, Spanish Town holds layers of history, stacked one on top of another. The Spanish built it first, then the British tore much of it down and built over it, leaving a maze of foundations, crumbling arches, and forgotten cellars beneath the modern streets. At its heart stands the old cathedral, one of the oldest in the Caribbean, built on the ruins of a Spanish church that was itself built on Taino ground. Beneath the square runs a network of tunnels that locals have talked about for generations, said to connect old government buildings, hidden storerooms, and even escape routes. Most have never been properly mapped. Nobody is entirely sure how deep they go or what was sealed away inside them when the capital moved to Kingston. Spanish Town is a place where 3 civilizations are buried in the same soil, and where the ground still hides doors that no one alive today has opened. Number 5. The Peace Cave in a Kampong. High in the cockpit country, in a landscape so rugged that armies could not follow, The Maroons carved out a stronghold no colonial force could break. These were people who had escaped slavery and built a free society deep in the hills. The Peace Cave is where, according to tradition, they signed a treaty with the British in 1739, ending decades of war on their own terms. But the cockpit country hides far more than one cave. This limestone maze is riddled with sinkholes, tunnels, and hidden chambers that the Maroons used to disappear at will. Colonial soldiers who marched in often never marched out. Even today, much of the region has never been fully explored, and stories persist of settlements and burial grounds swallowed by the bush. The Maroons kept their secrets on purpose, and the land itself helped them do it. To this day, the community controls access to much of the area, and certain caves and burial sites are simply off-limits to outsiders. Their contents recorded nowhere and shown to no one. What still lies hidden in those hills is known only to the descendants who guard it. Number 4. Judgment Cliff in St. Thomas. In 1692, a massive earthquake tore across Jamaica, and in the hills it ripped an entire mountainside loose. Tons of rock and earth slid down and buried the valley below, leaving a raw scar on the land that is still visible today. Local legend gives it a darker meaning. The story says a cruel and sinful plantation owner lived at the base of that hill, and that the landslide was divine judgment, burying him and his entire estate in an instant. Hence the name. What makes it a true mystery is what lies underneath. If an estate really was buried here, then its ruins, its buildings, and everything inside them are still down there, sealed beneath the rubble for more than 300 years. No one has ever excavated it. The cliff sits quiet above the valley, a monument to a disaster that folklore turned into a curse. Farmers working the land nearby have reportedly turned up worked stone and old fragments over the years, small clues that something man-made really does lie beneath all that fallen earth. Whatever the earthquake swallowed that day has never been dug back up. Number 3. Nanny Town in the Blue Mountains. Named after the legendary Maroon leader Queen Nanny, this was the beating heart of Maroon resistance in the east, a fortified town hidden so well in the mountains that the British spent years just trying to find it. When they finally did, in the 1730s, they destroyed it. And here is where the mystery deepens. After Nanny Town was burned, it was never rebuilt, and its exact location faded into legend. Expeditions that went looking for the ruins reported strange happenings, equipment failing, an unexplained sense of dread, and members refusing to continue. Some Maroons believe the site is spiritually protected, guarded by the ancestors who died defending it. Archaeologists have located parts of the old settlement, but much of it remains swallowed by dense forest, difficult and unsettling to reach. Queen Nanny herself is a figure wrapped in myth, credited with powers that colonial soldiers genuinely feared. British reports from the time describe strange defeats in these mountains that their commanders could never quite account for. The town that carried her name still does not give up its secrets easily. Number 2. The sunken city of Port Royal. In the 1600s, Port Royal was one of the richest and most wicked cities on earth, a pirate haven overflowing with gold, rum, and sin. They called it the wickedest city in the world. Then, on a single morning in 1692, the ground turned to liquid. That same great earthquake struck the harbor, and in a matter of minutes, 2/3 of the city slid straight into the sea. Thousands died. An entire town vanished beneath the waves almost instantly. Streets, taverns, and mansions swallowed whole. Today, the ruins still lie underwater, remarkably preserved in the mud of the harbor. Divers have found buildings standing upright on the seabed, and even a pocket watch stopped at the exact moment disaster struck. But most of the sunken city has never been fully explored. What treasures, what bodies, and what stories are still locked inside those drowned buildings, no one can say. Sonar keeps revealing new outlines on the seabed that appear on no map anyone has found. Port Royal is a ghost town that the ocean refuses to give back. Number 1. Colbeck Castle in Clarendon. This is the ruin that defeats everyone who tries to explain it. Colbeck Castle is one of the largest and oldest structures ever built in Jamaica, a huge stone building with towers at each corner and hundreds of openings in its walls. And almost nothing about it makes sense. Nobody knows for certain who built it, when exactly it went up, or what it was even for. Some say a wealthy landowner named John Colbeck raised it in the 1600s. Others argue the design is far too advanced for the time and place. It was clearly built to impress, or to defend, but against what, and for whom, remains unknown. The walls are pierced with so many openings that some believe it was a fortress. Others think it was a grand home, or a trading post, or something else entirely. There are no reliable records, no plans, and no clear history. For more than 300 years, it has stood half-ruined in a field, refusing, to this very day, to answer a single question. Stranger still, the sheer scale of the place does not match anything else built nearby in that era, as if it were dropped into the landscape from another world entirely. Generations have walked its empty halls, and every one of them has left with more questions than answers. Of all the mysteries on this island, Colbeck Castle may be the one nobody ever solves. From a fortress nobody can name the builder of, to a city the sea swallowed whole, Jamaica is holding on to more history than it has ever revealed. These ruins have outlasted the empires that made them, and most of their secrets are still buried in stone, soil, and salt water. Which of these mysteries do you think will be solved first, and which one will stay hidden forever? Drop your answer in the comments because I read every single one. And if this took you somewhere you have never been, there is another story waiting on screen right now, one that you are honestly not going to believe.